Hello and welcome to the studio. Today I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you a single person setup that I use for capturing virtual interviews or podcast recordings. I'm also capturing this video using the new DJI Pocket Osmo 3 so you can see what that footage looks like. And without further ado, let's dive in. All right, before we get to the equipment breakdown, let's talk about who this setup is for. Now, I use a similar setup like this every day for video conference calls. Anytime I need to do an interview, if I need to do a live stream, this is pretty much the setup I use. I also use this for any client who needs to do any type of virtual recording. So that could be an interview for, let's say, the news. It could be a podcast recording if they're recording virtually. And this could be if they're a guest on someone's podcast or if they are hosting that podcast. But anytime my clients or myself are looking for a little bit more of an elevated setup for audio and video, then this is the setup we'll go with. First things first, let's talk about lighting. So I have this dome light. It lights up the space nice and bright, helps remove any shadows or anything that might be going on. I also have a hair light set up back here. In this particular case, it's just shining behind my client or myself, and I can get that nice separation from the subject that's in the video and the background. And finally, I have this light stand. You've probably seen this in previous videos. It's a light stand on wheels. It's a huge dome. It creates a nice big light source for my videos. And the reason why I just light things up is because in these cases, I don't want cinematic lighting. I don't want shadows. I don't want things to be dramatic. I want the subject or whoever's in the hot seat here, I want their face to be seen because they're either on the news or they're on a podcast and they have something important to say and to share. So I go ahead, I light them up. I light up this room, and this is the typical lighting setup that I use to do that. As for the equipment setup, I have everything here pretty streamlined. So here in the studio, it's small in size. I can move this wherever I need to place it during a recording or a live stream. And if I'm going on site with a client, this equipment will pretty much fit in a backpack. What you're seeing here is my overhead camera rig. I use this to capture overhead shots, but I also use it in situations like this rather than a tripod. So all I do is place a camera up top here. I can position this camera wherever I need to position it. I can place it forward or backward, depending on the type of shot I want for my client. Right below the overhead rig is my laptop. That's where I'm going to be collecting audio and video and streaming using any software that you really want to. And then in this particular case, I am using the Rode Streamer X. This device is great because you can collect both audio and video using this one small device. So I use this in these types of situations pretty much on a daily basis. And what this allows me to do is capture all of the video from my camera and also the audio. And in this case, I'm using the Shure SM7B. I just turned phantom power on this device. And this is collecting the audio and video, and it's going to send it over to your laptop, which is connected to the device, and then you can use any type of software you'd like from there. As far as software goes, as I mentioned before, you can use whatever software you like. You just need to select the Streamer X as your audio and video input for the recording. I'm just going to show you what this type of setup looks like. I'm using Riverside in this situation. This isn't sponsored or anything, but this is what the video recording looks like in Riverside. Now, in this case, you can see my client. This is what their setup looks like, and then for the other person, they're using the onboard mic on their laptop, and they're also using the camera on their laptop. You can just see the difference when it comes to updating both your audio and your video and what that looks like. But, again, this is personal preference. All I do is in a tool like this is I will record the interview. Riverside is nice. I think StreamYard does this too. It'll actually create a recording that includes both people or all the people on the interview, and then it'll also give you individual files for each of the guests so that when you take this out and you do the edit, you have all those files. And additionally, you can also record all the audio files separately as well. And you should have everything that you need when it comes to editing some type of an interview just like this. All right, there you have it, the setup that I am currently using to capture single person recordings or live streams. Let me know what you think in the comments below if you have any questions. I'm also curious to know what you think of the footage coming out of the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I'll probably be doing a video about that in the future. If you like these types of videos, I invite you to subscribe. I'll be putting out a new video next week. So until then, take care, and I'll see you again in next week's video.